Hey folks, it's Maxwell here. Welcome to another TW9 video. We're on the road. We're on the go home show week for the GR Tribute show. So we'll be running Dynamite, Rampage, Collision and Shockwave before we have the event. Just the casual 5 shows in a week. But my god, I'm having a great time in this save. I can't lie. It honestly has been just so much fun. So towards the card with the GR Tribute show, the plan is basically there'll be some storyline stuff, but honestly I just want to put on some good matches. It's been great fun just looking about the Discord for RWC, seeing people's various cards, seeing people getting the 99 ratings, etc, etc, and I am so envious. But hopefully we can get there soon. And as to the various other places, we'll be looking up stuff in the Grey Dog software forums and fantasy bookers as well. It's good to see a lot of people enjoying the game, which is the main thing. But we're here for Dynamite. We should probably book that. Let's do it. So our 14 segment show from the Santander Arena starts off with a decent matchup that sees Bobby Lashley defeat Katsuyori Shibata in 10-19 with a spear. Imagine that for a match. A 50 overall here. Obviously Shibata's been on a bit of a losing streak and Bobby Lashley has been on a winning streak, so he picks up a nice wee win here heading into his match with Will Ospreay this coming Sunday. And we have some words basically from MVP, representing obviously Bobby Lashley, so cutting promo for MVP, intimidation for Bobby Lashley and off-screen Will Ospreay, and it just basically MVP saying, you know, Ospreay's been a thorn on his side, as they've been up against Ricochet, stopped Lashley from winning the International Championship as well, because obviously that went to Takeshita in the Fatal 4-Way, but he says, this is it, Lashley is going to take Will Ospreay out, so the Hurt Syndicate can focus on other stuff. 66. Not bad. This is quite poor. So basically we see after the matchup, Shibata's walking backstage and he bumps into Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley just looks at him, kind of smirks a little bit, laughs and goes, "What the hell happened to you? Where's the real Shibata? Why are we getting this little bitch basically?" And this causes Shibata to square up to Mox. He's not very happy about it, but Mox just laughs and he says, "You know what? I ain't got nothing planned for Sunday at the GR Tribute show. Bring the real Shibata." So I feel like in these kind of events, like you can have kind of like, well, at least I think Tony at least would book some matches where you can book them the show before and kind of just have like a wee kind of, not a dream match as such, but a match that would bring some intrigue, which I think Moxley Shibata would. So I'm intrigued to see how that goes. Sadly on a 47, Moxley was fantastic, Shibata underwhelming. But yeah, Moxley Shibata, it's quite good, and believe it or not, there will be some storyline stuff coming out of it, which is mental. Next up, that's a very small rating, let's get that bigger. We had a Briscoes Tag Team Cup Group B match, and it was a decent matchup. It saw Mark Briscoes, Trios partners, FTR, defeat Cool Hand, Angelo Parker, and Daddy Magic, Matt Menard in 8:51 when Cash Wheeler pinned Angelo Parker with the big rig. He's not having a hell of a hair day today, but overall a 61, pretty pleasing stuff. I was actually very surprised that Parker and Menard were not too far off the in-ring performances of FTR, which is quite surprising. But it could just maybe be a clash of styles, but 61, FTR pick up 3 points. Next up, decent wild brawl. Eddie Kingston continued to gain some positive momentum with a victory over the Butcher in 8:24 with the Blackout Lariat. Simple, effective, two big guys brawling to a 65. Good stuff. Next up, we had a decent matchup here in the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group D, and Dr. Britt Baker DMD defeated Sario Inoi in 7:31 by submission and with the storytelling. Now, I know in-ring stuff, Sarori would be the much better star, but popularity would be a problem. But 60 still fine. If we get her over, she should be getting great ratings here. So absolutely delighted with that. A 58 gives Britt the victory, but sadly still in extremely poor form. We then have some words from Undeniable, of course, that's Chris Jericho, Britt Baker, Ricky Starks and Wardlow, which brings us to 59. Chris basically talks about, like, look at what is happening. Britt Baker's on a winning run, Ricky Starks hasn't lost and is still looking absolutely brilliant, and Wardlow is dominating people. This is going to be a future of AEW, and I'm going to be a future world champion. A 9-time champion, because in this one he hadn't won the Ring of Honor World title for the second time. So yeah, undeniable, doing some good stuff. We then had a Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group C match, which had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Io Shirai defeated Deonna Purrazzo in 11:33 with the Moonsault Press. It made them steal the show. I thought these two would be really good together. Io just spectacular with 78. Sadly, Deonna was off her game, bringing a 55, but both ladies together bring a 72. Normally at the end of every week, I would do the groups and we go over them. Because there'll be some matches on the GR Tribute show, I'll hold off rounding up the second week till after that show, because there probably will be like people like Mercedes will have a match on that show and more main level talents. Speaking of Mercedes, that pre-booked match we knew about, her versus Shida from Group A, had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd that saw Mercedes Moné defeat Hikaru Shida in 10:34 with the bank statement. Solid stuff, a 69 overall, 69 from Shida, 65 from Mercedes. She's starting to pick up a bit of steam, which is good to see. Next up, she cuts a promo, and she said, and obviously Camille standing in the background with a bit of intimidation, the CEO will make a statement this Sunday. I challenge any Japanese talent to step up from her group and take her on. Basically, it just depends who's available, but I'm really hoping that one of the Joshies is available that can really have a spectacular matchup on pay-per-view with Mercedes. 57. Kind of struggling about the promo side. We see Kyle O'Reilly go up to Roderick Strong. Kyle says, Roddy, I'm sorry you didn't get the win last week, but they keep calling me. The calls keep happening. I think it's time. Roderick Strong just turns to him and goes, Kyle! In that awkward shouting voice he does. You're right, man. I'm getting those calls too. It's time to go to work. What does that mean? We'll find out, but that's a 49. We had a little segment backstage with Scott D'Amore. He is with Austin and Colton Gunn. He confirms that both of them are banned from ringside for our main event this evening, which is the American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Juice Robinson. And he's confirmed at the GR Tribute show we're going to see Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta take on the team of Juice Robinson and Jay White. Quickly look at that match. That could be pretty good stuff. So that was a 47. Basically, again, Scott just confirms we'll have some tag matches and matches as well from the women's side at the GR Tribute show. And that main event had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as the American Dragon Bryan Danielson defeats Juice Robinson in 18:06 with the cattle mutilation submission victory. A 77 segment overall. I gave him a good bit of time to try and get a good match, but we'll take it. 87 Bryan, 56 for Juice. And we head to our main event segment, which I kind of was unsure of doing, but I felt like, yeah, it's a bit rushed, but it means we can kind of move it going forward. We have a contract signing for the World Championship match at the GR Tribute show. Tony Schiavone obviously knows that Darby Allin wants to get his hands on Christian Cage, but Scott D'Amore confirms that Claudio can basically invoke a rematch clause. If Darby's entitled to one, then so is Claudio, so it's only fair. So we will see at the event, it's going to be a freeway. Christian moans, they all basically go a bit crazy at each other, cutting verbals. Darby says he's a complete underdog here, but he's going to do his best to try and pick up the win, and it's confirmed that this will open the show on Sunday's event. So we can confirm for the GR Tribute show at the moment, Jon Moxley, Katsuyori Shibata, Wheeler Yuta and Bryan Danielson take on Jay White and Juice Robinson, Will Ospreay versus Bobby Lashley, Mercedes versus whatever Josh is available, and Claudio Castagnoli will take on Darby Allin and Christian Cage in a triple threat for the AEW World Championship. Many other women's matches will be added that are as part of the tournament, some tag matches as well. We'll get some others on the show. I wouldn't count it as a pay-per-view, it technically will be, but not so much where it's like our main card, our main people, so a lot of people will be left off the show. However, there is some big things planned for it. At least some good stuff will take us through to Dynasty and Double or Nothing. 73 overall, so even though we didn't have the strongest promos, the main event match carried, and that gained us popularity in 34 regions. That's good to see. Any locker room instance for Rampage? Nope. I'll book Rampage, and we'll see for that roundup and Collision. So our Rampage show saw the debut of Tsukasa Fujimoto. Sorry if I butchered that horribly wrong, but she defeated Tay Melo in a first matchup for them within the women's tournament. That was a 46. The problem with Fujimoto is, with her status with Ice Ribbon, really means she's not available for any Saturday shows. So we are going to see a lot of her on Dynamite and Rampage just to make sure those matches take place. She is in contention to want to face Mercedes Moné if she's available on this Sunday for the JR Tribute Show. We had some words from Shayna and Nick Wayne, again just building up for his babyface turn. It was a 39. Some more first round action as Jamie Hayter defeated Alex Windsor, which was a 58. And then some words from Jamie of how she's going to win the tournament, which was a 54. Masha Slamovich defeated Ryo Mizunami in a 64 rated match. Good stuff there. Before Max the Impaler defeated Yuka Sakazaki, which was a 47. We had a rap from Bowens and Caster, the Acclaimed, which was a 58. And we finished the show with the MXM Collection defeating the Acclaimed, which was a 61. Moving on to Collision next, it's going to be interesting because we're obviously wrapping a lot of people up in cotton wool, but we get a lot of matches booked for the tournament, which will be the same we get to Shockwave, and then we'll have all our main hitters on the next episode for the GR Tribute Show. So let's jump into Collision. So only 12 segments on this show, so we'll see how it goes down. But we're in the Agganis Arena. I think we're in Massachusetts, if I'm right in saying. So I decided we have that kind of thing where Darby Allin starts the show, he's feeling dead rash basically, and says, I want a fight, I want a cheer-up match before this triple threat match for the world title. Bring out whoever he can get. Christian Cage comes out and he says he's got the perfect opponent for him, and that is Killswitch. I don't think I did anything else there. Nope. So a 57 now allows us to start the show with Darby Allin versus Killswitch. So that advances the storyline for the world title. And that actually went a lot better than I thought it would, actually. I was a bit worried. They made it a decent wild brawl. And of course, we had Darby Allin defeat Killswitch in 8:42 by pinfall with a coffin drop. A 73 for Darby Allin, 56 for Killswitch. But both of them had pretty good chemistry. That lifted the match up. And as I say, very surprised, very happy with the 70 segment overall. So Darby has some momentum going into tomorrow night. And he finishes up with some more words. He just basically says, this is what I've done to Killswitch. Christian Cage, I'm going to get you next. I'm going to take that World Championship back. And Claudio, I've beaten you before. I'm going to make sure I beat you tomorrow. So that was a 60 rated segment. Next up, we had a decent matchup in the Elite Grand Prix Group D. We had Megan Bayne defeat Serena Deeb in 8:53 by pinfall. I was a bit worried, as I say, two completely different sets of wrestlers in terms of styles, but both of them have 57 rated performance, 57 for the wrestling, and an overall of 57 as Megan Bayne picks up the victory. Into Group C, we had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Io Shirai defeats Queen Aminata in 10:27 with the moonsault press. And I let these two ladies steal the show, and I thought, honestly, 86-55 is maybe a bit skewed in terms of their performances, but the 74 is good stuff, and the EO picks up another win for Group C. We then had 4 minutes worth of a Swerve Strickland promo, and he's just basically saying, yeah, I'm going to see who steps up, we'll see what competition I get tomorrow, but just keep a looking, as I say, Swerve has his eye on someone, and he's going to strike with a drive-by when they least suspect it. So a 65 for Swerve Strickland's promo with Nana alongside. We then had Maki Ito, the cutest wrestler in the world, basically sing her way to the ring, so that's her work in the crowd singing her song, which was a 69. It's her debut matchup, and she was in Group B. She took on Alex Windsor, and it was a decent wrestling match. She picks up the win, of course, in 9:13 with Flying Big Head. And 54 for the wrestling, 55 for the segment. Pretty similar in terms of in-ring, and they had great chemistry, that lifted it as well. But as I say, maybe just a wee clash of styles, but it was just to get Maki Ito her first points on the board. And in Group A, we had a bout that had some decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat, as Takuma Aroha defeated Taya Valkyrie in 9:55 by pinfall from Group A. Aroha was one of my favourites to use in the last TW. It's someone who, personally, I don't obviously get to watch much apart from the kind of mainstream American wrestling, but I was introduced through that game, and she was just so good for me. So hopefully the same here. She's not obviously particularly over, so we need to work on that one, but these two had great chemistry, that lifted it. She's got a 75 and Taya got a 50. So when she gets over, these are going to be some good ratings. The reason it's a 46 as well is Taya didn't want to lose basically, so I had to keep her looking really, really strong. But you got to build Takuma Iroha up for the start, and that is a good way to start. So 3 points there with a win over Taya. Next up, we were in the Briscoes Tag Team Cup, Group A. We had a decent matchup here as Top Flight defeated the Kingdom in 7:47 when Dante Martin pinned Mike Bennett with Red Eye. Made this storytelling because I wasn't sure which women's matches wouldn't be great, so we took the gamble of this one being poor. But yeah, pretty much decent stuff, 59, still trying to build Dante up. But yeah, Top Flight picking up a good win. Then I had a little promo from Will Ospreay, and he just basically was hyping up his matchup with Bobby Lashley and MVP. He says he's looking forward to looking up with Bobby Lashley, but basically making sure he can pick up the win there and then move on to other things in AEW. So 71, simple and effective promo from Ospreay. And our main event, I'm ripping it, but as I say, make sure we get good pop. It gives us another chance to continue to gain the prestige of the International Championship. And I suppose with Phoenix losing last week, you can go Penta this time. But it was about that had superb wrestling and good heat as Konosuke Takeshita defeats Penta in 21:49 with a touchdown. His fourth defence of the AEW International Championship. 82 for the wrestling, 57 crowd, 84 overall. Takeshita bringing an 88 in ring. He is pretty much a cheat code at this point. And the only negative was the physical condition of Penta. We'll see if we can give Takeshita a random title defence tomorrow night. But overall, delighted with that. 77, we gained pop in 11 regions. Obviously not too many storylines forwarded there, but you can really see matches actually weren't too bad. But obviously carried a bit by Takeshita and Penta. Any locker room incidents before I go and book Shockwave? Matt Sydal and Tommy Billington have been into a huge row. Great. And that's about it. So I'll jump and I will do Shockwave, which will just be some matches in both the tournaments, and then we're on the road to the JR Tribute Show. So straight into Shockwave we go at the Agganis Arena, 4,601 fans in attendance. Group C matchup, and it was about to had some decent wrestling, but not much heat. Thunder Rosa defeats Fekla in 9:02 with La Rosa. It's a good win for Rosa, 51, 32, 54 for the ratings there. Pretty even in terms of in-ring performance. As I say, hoping to do something with Thunder Rosa, because I don't think I really did in last year's TEW. We then had a little hype package here. I'm a wee bit disappointed that's only got a 58. Basically, the show, obviously mostly tournament matches, doesn't have much in terms of storyline progression. So I thought let's do like a video package hyping up Lashley versus Ospreay. That'll get me a good rating. I don't need to worry about the promo side or the angle side. But sadly, only a 58. So yeah, I think we might lose pop here. Next up, it was in Group B that saw Jamie Hayter defeat Camille in 9:51 with a Falcon Arrow. Jamie with a fantastic 74 performance brings a 64 rating for the wrestling, a 46 for the crowd, a 70 for the segment, and most importantly 3 points for Jamie Hayter. After this one, we have some words between Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné. Of course, Mercedes will be alongside Camille, and it's just Mercedes being a bit cowardly, but at the same time saying, "You're not in my group, Jamie. I don't need to concern myself with you. But one day, Jamie down the line, one day we will lock up and we will put on a spectacular matchup." But maybe teasing for something way down the line, but obviously two completely different groups and a 64 segment there. Small little promo from Harley Cameron and Saraya. Saraya was in action next, and I thought, you know what, it's an opportunity to give them some screen time and see how they do with their promo, which was a 44. Saraya takes on Azumi, and it was about to have a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Azumi defeats Saraya in 8:59 with a diving crossbody. This was designed to be storytelling. My worry was that Saraya wasn't going to put her over, but she was quite happy to, so ideal, great, because obviously Saraya's not quite what she used to be. But overall, 40 and 52, Saraya still an extremely poor form, and overall the matchup segment was a 49, but 3 points for Azumi. Into Group D we went, and it was about to have some decent wrestling. with little heat though, as Marina Shafir defeats Saru Inoi in 9:20 by submission with the armbar. I made this one storytelling. I feel with Marina Shafir, we're going to get her over as association with the Blackpool Combat Club, but it gives us a chance to try something a wee bit different. As somebody I'd kind of usually just went, your contract's up, time to go, but we'll see what we can do with her, even if she is a bit limited apart from technical. We might do something, but 55, she was going to be carried here, and yeah, it's okay, does the job. And I think this is our last one, but it's a decent wild brawl. And with Chris Statlander defeat Max the Impaler in 10:25 by pinfall with the Area 451. So this was in Group D, 54 for the wrestling, 37 crowd, 59 for the segment. And Statlander picks up another 3 points. Just a reminder that all the groups will be rounded up after the GR Tribute show, but normally it will be after Shockwave. Just obviously a special circumstance with matches happening at the event. I then had a little promo from Jon Moxley before we headed to our main event, and it's just him basically saying, you know, he remembers what happened with Shibata, how Shibata nearly died in the ring. But he says, which Shibata's going to turn up tomorrow? You know what I mean? He wants someone that's going to bring him a fight. Is that going to be this Shibata? He doubts it, but time will tell. And that is a 61 segment for the Jon Moxley promo, so we're probably going to lose Pop unless this delivers like an 80. It might, but I'd be surprised. Oh, it really did nearly, 79. We'd about had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Private Party defeated the Young Bucks, who's had their first matchup in over a month, since Grand Slam Australia actually, as they defeated Zach Cassidy, pinned Matt Jackson with Gin and Juice. Made it steal the show, that's why it was under 20 minutes. A great performance from Matthew and Nicholas, 85 and 91 respectively. Quinn with 63, Cassidy with 65, but I thought, you know what, if the Bucks are willing to put Private Party over, then we might be able to build something with them. But 76 wrestling, 48 for the crowd, 79 segment overall. It's pretty delightful stuff. And yeah, perfect. 73 means we increase our popularity in federal regions, so I'll be out with the US probably. Disappointed that storylines none had dramatic stakes. That's fine. He's been rested for tomorrow, and you probably won't see a lot of storyline stuff on Shockwave as we're trying to get the tournaments over there. But we'll jump anyway to the financial report. Another 1.8 million. So basically, us having the AEW network is just printing money, so we can do whatever we want going forward, which is good. And popularity, you can see they're mostly in 71s now in the US, which is good. Puerto Rico up to 68. Other kind of gains here were mostly in Europe, few in Oceania, but overall in a good position, and nothing in the media scrum. So we'll jump and see if there's any news on 316. Praying that Stone Cold Steve Austin accepts the contract, or we're not going to have him in time for the GR Tribute show, which would be a massive boo-boo on my behalf, but I'm hoping that won't be the case. Hopefully we get him in, but as I say, it's just to have a bit of fun, have some good matches out of nowhere, and as a tribute to GR, and at the same time have some okay storyline stuff, nothing great. No, he's not going to be in time, but Austin Gunn re-signs, so that's fine, main roster. So basically, new contract for Darby Allin's coming, and Austin, we'll just say, we'll get him in Dynamite and we'll just say, that was a pretty good show, whatever. Kevin Knight and Callum Newman are in a bit of a fallout. Struck gold with Collision, drawn a lot of praise for Shockwave. Morale issues within Stardom, anything else there directly affecting us? Extension for Jakara Jackson, and a new deal for, I'm only going to try and pronounce her surname. So, I think I'm going to let everything go with TNT, etc., because we're on a network anyway, so we're going to be fine that way. Chad Patton and Alex Reynolds have I don't think we've even got Chad Patton, have we? No, just because I've got them shortlisted. Collision, 1.21, Shockwave, 3 million viewers. Mercedes Monet says that Fekla, I keep saying Fekla is charismatic, and Mick Foley likes her as well. Fair enough. Lady Frost, we'll give her a new contract to. I know she is 40. The skills aren't fantastic, but yeah, just kick a bit for a year, I guess. Yeah, have a wee bit more merch. Maybe she should be main roster bound soon. But yeah, overall, as I say, with the network, we are pretty much good financially. So good position there. Just sad we don't have Austin, but if you just go to finances, you can see here, like, broadcast revenue is way up already. But to be fair, it was an investment we made very early on in December, and we're starting to get the money back for that, so that's good. We can certainly be a lot more aggressive with a lot more things. But apart from that, next up, as we know, is the GR Tribute Show. So we're going to see some, just to confirm, some matches for the tournaments. We're going to see some fun matches that relate to storylines and some that don't. So you're going to see World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Christian Cage defends against Claudio Castagnoli and Darby Allin. You're going to see John Moxley versus Katsuyori Shibata. You're going to see Will Ospreay versus Bobby Lashley. And there's probably other stuff that I've forgotten about, and I don't have my notepad up. So hopefully tune in for it anyway. As I say, we'll try and put on some really, really good matches. OI Jay White and Juice Robinson against Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta is another one. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out the Grey Dog Software forums, Fantasy Booker subreddit, twdb.com and bethebooker.net. And as always, I'll catch you next one. Farewell. Bye-bye.